High Admiral Zexthor of the Drachnid Confederation stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominance, watching the holographic projection of the small blue planet before him. His scaled features twisted into what his species considered a smile, a gesture that would have terrified most other spacefaring races. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, seemed remarkably unremarkable. Another primitive world playing at being a spacefaring civilization, he remarked to his senior staff. The initial scans had detected what appeared to be crude orbital stations, basic defense satellites, and a handful of ships using primitive chemical propulsion. Show me their primary defense grid again. His chief tactical officer, squadron leader Vexenar, brought up a detailed scan of Earth's orbital defense network. As you can see, High Admiral, their technology appears to be at least 3 centuries behind Confederation standards. Their most advanced weapons seem to be basic kinetic kill vehicles and rudimentary energy shields. The bridge crew chittered in amusement. The Drachnid Confederation had encountered dozens of emerging civilizations over their 1,000-year expansion, but few had seemed as woefully unprepared for galactic society as these humans. Their response to our arrival was particularly amusing. Vexenar continued, playing back the transmission they'd received when their fleet first entered the solar system. The human diplomatic message had been almost painfully polite, welcoming them to Earth's space and requesting peaceful dialogue. High Admiral Zexthor had seen this pattern before. Young species often tried diplomacy first, not understanding that in the greater galaxy, power was the only language that truly mattered. The Confederation's policy was simple: absorb or subjugate. Earth would make an excellent mining colony. Send the standard ultimatum, Zexthor commanded. Full surrender and integration into the Confederation, or immediate military action. He expected the humans would choose surrender. Most species did when confronted with the overwhelming might of a Drachnid battle fleet. The response came faster than expected. A single human appeared on their main view screen, a female wearing what appeared to be formal diplomatic attire. Her expression was eerily calm. "This is Ambassador Sarah Chin of the United Earth Government," she stated clearly. "We have received your ultimatum and reject it completely. Earth is not interested in surrender or subjugation. We strongly advise you to reconsider your position." Zexthor's bridge crew erupted in laughter. The human continued, seemingly unperturbed by their reaction. "We understand that our visible defensive capabilities may appear limited to your sensors. This is intentional. We strongly suggest you take this opportunity to open peaceful diplomatic channels instead of pursuing military action." "Or what?" Zexthor sneered. "You'll throw more of your primitive satellites at us?" Ambassador Chen's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes made Vexenar feel suddenly uneasy. "High Admiral, we have a saying on Earth: don't judge a book by its cover. Consider this a final warning. Any hostile action against Earth or its colonies will be met with overwhelming force." Zexthor cut the transmission. "Prepare the first wave of the invasion fleet. Let's show these humans what real power looks like." He turned to his tactical officer. "Target their largest orbital station. Something to demonstrate our technological superiority." As the Drachnid weapons powered up, none of them noticed the subtle changes taking place across Earth's orbital defense grid. Deep within heavily shielded bunkers on Earth's surface, operators began inputting activation codes. In hidden facilities across the solar system, systems that had laid dormant for decades hummed to life. The humans had learned long ago that the best defense was one your enemy didn't know existed. As the first Drachnid warship fired upon the orbital station, they were about to learn why humanity had survived countless extinction-level events and emerged stronger each time. The game of appearance versus reality was about to reach its explosive conclusion, and the Drachnid Confederation was completely unprepared for what would happen next. Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, General Maria Rodriguez watched multiple holographic displays showing the Drachnid fleet's position. Around her, the Global Defense Command Center operated with practiced precision. There was no panic, no rushed movements, just the quiet efficiency of a plan decades in the making. "Status of Ghost Protocol?" she asked, her voice steady. Colonel James Chin, Ambassador Chen's brother and head of Special Operations, pulled up a new hologram. "All systems are go, General." The vault is fully activated, and our stealth fleet is in position. The enemy still hasn't detected any of our true defensive capabilities. The primitive orbital station the Drachnids had targeted was now putting on quite a show. Its outer shell was breaking apart exactly as their enemies expected, creating a spectacular light show visible from Earth. What the Drachnids didn't realize was that the station was entirely automated, a carefully crafted decoy designed to reinforce their assumptions about human technological capabilities. "They're proceeding exactly as the behavioral models predicted," commented Dr. Ayesha Patel, head of xenopsychology. She'd spent years studying the few fragments of information available about the Drachnid Confederation. Their species has a documented history of underestimating younger civilizations. Their own technological advancement made them arrogant. General Rodriguez nodded. Humanity had learned its lessons well over the centuries. After nearly destroying themselves multiple times, they developed a unique approach to technological advancement. While other species raced to display their achievements, humans had chosen a different path, one of hidden strength and careful preparation. "Signal from the Artemis base on Luna," announced Major David O'Connor. "The quantum shield grid is fully charged. They're ready to deploy on your command." The general allowed herself a small smile. The Drachnids thought they were seeing Earth's entire defense network, but they were only seeing what humans wanted them to see. The real network, hidden beneath layers of quantum camouflage and dimensional shifting, was far more impressive. "Begin Phase 2, Rodriguez ordered. And get me Ambassador Chen." Sarah Chen's face appeared on a nearby screen. She was now in a secure facility beneath Geneva, coordinating with other Earth governments. "The Drachnids are preparing their main invasion fleet, General. Their High Admiral seems quite pleased with himself." "Excellent. Continue playing your part, Ambassador. Let them think their shock and awe tactics are working." Rodriguez turned to Colonel Chin. "Status of the Ghost Fleet?" "All ships report ready, General. Admiral Patel has positioned them in the shadow zones, just as planned. The Drachnids still think those areas are just gravitational anomalies." The Ghost Fleet represented decades of human innovation in stealth technology. While other species focused on building bigger, more visible ships, humanity had perfected the art of invisibility. Each vessel in the Ghost Fleet was a masterpiece of engineering, capable of bending light, gravity, and even space-time itself around its hull. "Message from Mars Command," Major O'Connor announced. "The subterranean defense grid is online. All colonists are safely in the deep shelters." The Red Planet had been humanity's first successful terraforming project, but more importantly, it had served as the perfect cover for building massive underground military installations. The Drachnid scans showed only small research outposts and mining operations on the surface, exactly what humanity wanted them to see. "Time to invasion?" Rodriguez asked. "They'll launch their main assault in approximately 6 hours, Colonel Chin replied. Their fleet formation suggests they're planning a standard overwhelming force approach, nothing creative." Dr. Patel nodded. "Classic Drachnid tactics. They rely heavily on their technological superiority. The concept that a younger species might have developed different or better technology simply doesn't occur to them." General Rodriguez studied the tactical displays one final time. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The Drachnids thought they were about to crush a primitive civilization. Instead, they were about to learn why humanity had survived every challenge it had ever faced. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Initiate final protocol. Let's show our visitors why you should never judge Earth by its cover." Throughout the solar system, hidden facilities hummed with power as humanity prepared to reveal its true strength. The game of deception was about to end, and the Drachnid Confederation was about to learn a very expensive lesson about the danger of assumptions. High Admiral Xexthor was growing increasingly irritated. The humans' orbital station had collapsed exactly as expected, yet their response wasn't following any known pattern. There was no panic, no desperate pleas for mercy, not even attempts at last-minute negotiations. Just silence. "Status of their defensive grid?" he demanded. "Still minimal activity, High Admiral," VexNAR reported. "Their remaining satellites are maintaining standard orbits. No sign of military mobilization on the surface." He paused, checking another reading. Though, there are some unusual gravitational readings in several sectors. Irrelevant, Zexthor dismissed. This system is full of astronomical anomalies. Prepare the invasion fleet. We'll show these humans what real power looks like. At that exact moment, in the depths of Earth's Pacific Ocean, Captain Maya Patel of the submarine carrier USS Kraken gave the order her crew had trained years for. Launch the Hydra Swarm. Across the ocean floor, hidden underwater bases activated. What the Drachnids had dismissed as natural oceanic thermal vents suddenly erupted with activity. Thousands of small, sleek vessels shot from the depths, their quantum drives leaving no visible trace in the water. In orbit, High Admiral Zexthor was the first to notice something odd about the stars. Why are some of them moving? Before Vex and AR could respond, the void of space seemed to ripple. The gravitational anomalies they'd ignored suddenly resolved into the impossible, hundreds of human warships appearing from what seemed like nowhere, their stealth fields dropping in perfect synchronization. Impossible! Zexthor roared. Their technology level, the scans. Hi, Admiral. Vexenar's voice was tight with alarm. Multiple new contacts emerging from the lunar surface. The humans have bases inside their moon. The quantum shield grid around Earth shimmered into visibility, its ethereal blue light forming complex geometric patterns that no Drachnid had ever seen before. Ambassador Chen's face appeared on their main screen, her expression still perfectly calm. Hi, Admiral. This is your final chance to withdraw. We would still prefer a peaceful resolution. Zexthor's scales darkened with rage. You dare threaten the Drachnid Confederation? All ships, open fire. Show these deceptive primitives the price of their insolence. The Drachnid fleet launched their attack, expecting their superior weapons to easily overwhelm whatever defenses the humans had hidden. Instead, their energy beams and plasma torpedoes splashed harmlessly against the quantum shields, their power absorbed and redirected through patterns that defied conventional physics. Sir, Vexenar's voice shook. I'm detecting energy readings unlike anything in our database. The humans are powering up their weapons. In her command center, General Rodriguez gave a single nod. Execute Operation Thunderstrike. The Hydra Swarm struck first. Thousands of autonomous vessels, each smaller than a Drachnid fighter, swarmed through the enemy fleet. Their quantum-shifted hulls passed straight through conventional shields, attaching to the Drachnid ships' hulls. Within seconds, the mighty warships began losing power as the Hydras interfaced with and overrode their systems. From the lunar surface, massive rail guns emerged from hidden bunkers. But instead of firing conventional projectiles, they launched what appeared to be small spheres of contained darkness. The moment these quantum singularity bombs detonated, localized areas of space-time warped and twisted, tearing Drachnid ships apart with gravitational forces they'd never encountered before. The Ghost Fleet revealed its true nature, their seemingly simple hulls transforming as layers of advanced technology activated. What had appeared to be basic metal and ceramic was actually a complex matrix of metamaterials and quantum-engineered alloys, capable of manipulating fundamental forces in ways the Drachnids had thought impossible. How? Zexthor demanded as another wave of his ships went dark. You're supposed to be centuries behind us. Hi, Admiral, Ambassador Chen replied calmly. You made the mistake of assuming that visible technology represents all technology. Humanity learned long ago that true strength lies not in what you show, but in what you keep hidden until the right moment. The Eternal Dominance shuddered as multiple Hydras attached to its hull. Zexthor watched in horror as his mighty flagship systems began shutting down one by one, disabled by technology he couldn't even begin to understand. This is impossible, he whispered. You're supposed to be primitives. No, Chen corrected him. We simply understood something your people never did. The best defense is the one your enemy doesn't know exists. And now, Hi Admiral, you're about to learn why humanity has survived every threat we've ever faced. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Elena Santos stood in the control center of humanity's most closely guarded secret, the Vault. For decades, this massive facility had housed Earth's most advanced military technology, hidden from prying eyes and scanning systems through layers of quantum camouflage and dimensional shifting. "Status of the Prometheus Protocol?" she asked, watching as holographic displays showed the battle raging through the solar system. "All systems green," her assistant, Dr. Marcus Wong, reported. "The quantum core is at full power, ready to deploy on your command." In orbit around Earth, High Admiral Zexthor watched in growing horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by weapons and technology he couldn't comprehend. The humans' hidden arsenal had already disabled a third of his ships, and the rest were struggling against defenses that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. "High Admiral," Vexen called out, his voice trembling, "I'm detecting massive energy signatures from Mars. Something's happening to the planet's surface." The red planet's surface appeared to ripple like water, as massive sections of what had appeared to be natural terrain simply vanished, revealing vast technological complexes beneath. Huge structures emerged from the hidden facilities, their purpose becoming clear as they oriented toward the battle. "By the first egg," Zexthor whispered. "What are they?" On Earth, General Rodriguez received the signal she'd been waiting for. "The vault is ready. Execute final phase." Dr. Santos input the activation sequence, and humanity's ultimate defensive system awakened. The massive structures on Mars's surface powered up, creating a web of quantum-entangled energy that spread throughout the solar system. Every human ship and installation was suddenly connected through a network that transcended normal spacetime. "Impossible!" Vexen shouted as his instruments went haywire. They're manipulating the fabric of space itself." The Prometheus Protocol activated, and the true nature of humanity's defensive doctrine became clear. What had appeared to be separate ships and installations were actually parts of a single, vast weapons system. The quantum network allowed them to function as one unified entity, coordinating their actions with perfect precision across impossible distances. Ambassador Chen's image appeared on the Drachnid flagship's screen one final time. "High Admiral, what you're witnessing is the result of centuries of human innovation. While other species raced to build bigger ships and more powerful weapons, we focused on understanding the fundamental forces of the universe itself. The Hydra swarms transformed, combining into larger structures that the Drachnid sensors couldn't even properly detect. The Ghost Fleet's ships shifted and changed, revealing weapon systems that seemed to draw power from dimensions beyond normal space. You see, High Admiral, Chun continued, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our understanding that true power lies in knowing when not to show your strength. Every primitive satellite, every seemingly vulnerable station, every apparent weakness was carefully designed to create exactly the impression we wanted you to have. In the Vault's control center, Dr. Santos monitored the quantum network's performance. The technology they were revealing represented generations of human scientific advancement, developed in absolute secrecy. While other species had focused on immediate technological gratification, humanity had played the long game. "Their flagship is attempting to retreat," Dr. Wong reported. "Should we stop them?" Dr. Santos smiled. "No, let them go. They need to deliver our message." On the Eternal Dominance, Zexthor watched helplessly as his fleet was systematically neutralized. Ships that hadn't been disabled were trapped in quantum fields that denied them any possibility of escape. His mighty flagship, now running on emergency power, was among the few vessels still capable of movement. "This isn't possible," he muttered. "Your species, you're supposed to be primitives. Your technology, your weapons, were hidden," Ambassador Chen finished for him. "Just as they were meant to be. You may retreat now, High Admiral. Tell your Confederation what you've witnessed here. Let them know that humanity is not to be judged by appearances, and that Earth's solar system is now officially closed to unauthorized entry." As the crippled Drachnid flagship limped away from Earth, High Admiral Zexthor realized with crushing clarity that his species' entire understanding of technological advancement had been upended. They had assumed that any civilization would proudly display their achievements, just as the Drachnids did. Instead, humanity had shown them a completely different path, one where true power lay not in what you showed, but in what you kept hidden until the perfect moment. The Grand Council chamber of the Drachnid Confederation was in chaos. Representatives from 100 worlds shouted and argued as the recording of the Earth battle played on massive screens. High Admiral Zexthor stood before them, his scales pale with humiliation as he delivered his report. The humans' technological capabilities far exceed our previous assessments, he concluded. Their entire solar system is now effectively impenetrable to our forces. We lost 60% of our invasion fleet, with the remaining ships either severely damaged or completely disabled by their quantum weaponry. Supreme Chancellor Vexkar, the Confederation's highest authority, leaned forward on her crystalline throne. How did we miss this? Our surveillance of their system lasted for years. In Earth's orbital diplomatic station, Ambassador Chin watched the proceedings through a quantum-encrypted feed. General Rodriguez and Dr. Santos stood beside her, observing the Drachnids' reaction to their carefully orchestrated revelation. They still don't fully understand, Dr. Santos remarked. They're asking all the wrong questions. Indeed, the Drachnid Council was fixated on trying to understand how humans had hidden their technology, rather than questioning their own assumptions about technological development. Reports were pouring in from across Drachnid space as their analysts desperately re-examined data from other emerging civilizations, suddenly uncertain about everything they thought they knew. Incoming transmission from the Confederation, a communications officer announced. They're requesting diplomatic talks. Ambassador Chun smiled. Accept the transmission. Supreme Chancellor Vexkar's image appeared before them, her usual imperious manner notably subdued. Ambassador Chin, on behalf of the Drachnid Confederation, I wish to discuss terms. Of course, Chancellor. Though I should inform you that we're currently hosting representatives from 12 other species your Confederation has previously interacted with. They're quite interested in discussing terms as well. The Chancellor's scales paled further as the camera view widened, revealing delegates from various civilizations the Drachnids had dismissed as primitive or unimportant. Each of them now wore expressions that suggested they had their own hidden capabilities to reveal. Meanwhile, in a secret facility beneath Geneva, Colonel Chin was briefing Earth's military leadership on the latest intelligence. The Confederation is already falling into disarray. 3 of their subjected worlds have declared independence, and more are likely to follow. Our demonstration has sparked what they're calling the Hidden Revolution. General Rodriguez nodded. And the quantum network? Fully operational throughout the solar system. The Vault's technologies are being systematically integrated into our visible defenses now that secrecy is no longer necessary. Though, he smiled, we're keeping a few surprises in reserve, of course. Back in the diplomatic station, Supreme Chancellor Vexkar was attempting to salvage what she could of her civilization's position. Surely we can reach some sort of arrangement that benefits both our peoples? Oh, we intend to, Ambassador Chen replied. Humanity has no desire for conquest or domination. What we want is something rather different. She activated a holographic display showing a new type of ship under construction in Earth's shipyards. We're calling it the Bridge Initiative. The ship was unlike anything the Drachnids had ever seen, its design incorporating technologies that seemed to blend multiple scientific disciplines in ways they hadn't thought possible. This vessel, Chen explained, is designed to be crewed by representatives from all spacefaring species, including yours. Its mission will be to explore and study the galaxy cooperatively, rather than competitively. Dr. Santos stepped forward. You see, Chancellor, while you were building weapons, we were also developing technologies for peace. Everything we revealed during the battle has a civilian application that could benefit all species. The choice before you is simple, General Rodriguez added. Continue your current path of conquest and face more revelations like the one High Admiral Zexthor encountered, or join us in building something new. The galaxy is vast enough for all of us, but only if we work together. The Supreme Chancellor looked at the faces before her, human, and now others from species she had dismissed as inferior, and saw something her kind had missed in their rush to dominate: potential. Not just for technology or weapons, but for a different kind of advancement altogether. Perhaps, she said slowly, it is time for the Confederation to evolve. Ambassador Chen's smile widened slightly. Welcome to the real galaxy, Chancellor. Now, shall we begin discussing how to build it together? As the diplomatic talks continued, Earth's hidden installations continued their work, developing new technologies and capabilities. Humanity had learned its lesson well. Peace through strength was admirable, but peace through wisdom was sustainable. They had revealed enough of their capabilities to change the galaxy's balance of power, but kept enough in reserve to ensure that change remained stable. 5 years after the failed invasion of Earth, the galactic landscape had transformed beyond recognition. The massive Galactic Cooperation Center, suspended in Earth orbit, hosted representatives from over 300 species. Its quantum-engineered halls contained technologies from dozens of civilizations that had, like humanity, chosen to reveal their hidden capabilities once the Drachnid threat was contained. Ambassador Chin, now serving as the first executive director of the Galactic Coalition, stood in her office overlooking Earth. The view was quite different now, with ships of various designs moving through carefully coordinated quantum space lanes, their crews representing the diversity of galactic life. Director Chin, her AI assistant, announced, "The delegation from New Drachnia has arrived." Supreme Chancellor Vexkar entered the office, accompanied by her young protégé, Klex, the first Drachnid to graduate from Earth's Interstellar Academy. The changes in Drachnid society were evident in their more relaxed postures and the civilian attire that had replaced their traditional military uniforms. The integration of the quantum network throughout former Confederation space is proceeding ahead of schedule, Vexkar reported. Our people are particularly excited about its applications in medical technology and environmental restoration. Chin nodded, pulling up a holographic display of the galaxy. Hundreds of points of light indicated worlds that had joined the coalition, forming a network of cooperation that grew stronger each day. And the education initiative? Klex stepped forward eagerly. The exchange program has been incredibly successful. We've already had over 10,000 students from former Confederation worlds complete their studies on Earth and other coalition planets. The cross-pollination of ideas is generating innovations we never thought possible. In the depths of Mars, Dr. Elena Santos and her team had transformed the vault from a military installation into the galaxy's premier research facility. Scientists from hundreds of species now work together, combining their unique perspectives and technologies to solve challenges that had once seemed insurmountable. Director, her AI interrupted, General Rodriguez is requesting to share some news. The General's hologram appeared, showing her aboard the flagship of the new Coalition Explorer fleet. We've just completed our survey of the galactic core using the combined sensor technologies of 12 different species. The data we've gathered is revolutionary. There are phenomena out there that none of us understood alone, but together. She smiled. We're rewriting physics as we know it. And the defense network? Chin asked. Fully operational and completely unnecessary, Rodriguez replied. When species work together openly, sharing their strengths and knowledge, the need for hidden weapons diminishes rapidly. Though, she added with a knowing smile, we all keep a few surprises in reserve. Old habits die hard. Vexkar's scales shifted to a color indicating amusement, a display of emotion that would have been unthinkable in the old Confederation. My predecessors would never have believed this possible. We were so convinced that power came from dominance, from forcing others to submit to our will. We never imagined that true strength could come from cooperation. That was the real lesson humanity taught us, Klex added. Not just about hidden technology, but about hidden potential. Every species has something unique to offer, if given the chance to reveal it in their own way. Ambassador Chin turned to look at Earth again. Ships from the Explorer fleet were preparing for another mission, their crews representing dozens of species working in harmony. The quantum network hummed with the exchange of ideas and discoveries across vast distances, connecting civilizations that had once viewed each other with suspicion or contempt. We kept our greatest weapon hidden until the very end, she said softly. Your quantum technology? Vexkar asked. No, Chun smiled. Hope. The belief that different species could work together, that cooperation could be stronger than conquest. We hid our weapons because we needed to survive long enough to reveal that truth. As if to emphasize her point, A massive ship emerged from quantum space near the station, the latest vessel of the Bridge Initiative. Its design represented the combined technological achievements of 20 different species, its mission to explore and study rather than conquer and destroy. The galaxy is entering a golden age, Klex observed. And to think, it all started because we underestimated a single species on a small blue planet. No, Chun corrected gently. It started because that species understood something fundamental. The greatest power isn't in the weapons you hide, but in the bridges you build when those weapons are no longer needed. As the sun set on Earth, casting a golden glow across the orbital station, ships of all designs and origins continued their peaceful journeys through space. Humanity had revealed its hidden arsenal, yes, but their greatest revelation had been showing the galaxy a better way forward, one where strength came not from what you could take, but from what you could create together.